In the previous video, we set up our points and weapon to kind of be more network friendly, so to speak. And now what we're going to want to do is start cleaning up our character class a bit by moving our points and all that kind of stuff. Well, I guess right now it's just our points into our player state, but we don't have one of those yet, so we're going to make one. So under C++ classes, or, public, player, let's create a player state. So show all, type in player state, and here it is. So let's give it a name of Nazi zombie player state. Yep, it's under player. Yep, we're good to go. And create the class. And now pretty much what we're going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and close down most of these. Go ahead and reload. Please don't freeze. There we go. Go ahead and open up the player state. All right. So now that we have the player state open, let's go ahead and create a constructor. And we have to fix the include path like always. So world at war, public player Nazi zombie player state.h, I think. Yep. Okay. Close you. And now we're good to go to start kind of merging stuff over. So I'm going to make a new protected section, and we're going to start with the points. So I have this U property here with all the points and that kind of stuff. I want to go ahead and just copy it, paste it into the header of the player state, and then go to the CPP and find the onRep points changed, copy that, and paste it in there as well. And change a Nazi zombie character to a Nazi zombie player state. And we're going to have to also alter the broadcast event as well. So now we know we're going to be replicating some of the variables, so we're going to want to include the Unreal Network. So include net Unreal Network.h, and then the replication. So the get lifetime replicated props here in our Nazi zombie character. Going to copy that and paste it over here in our player state. And in the constructor, I'm just going to set points to equal 500. Okay. So now I'm going to tab or comment out the broadcast for now and remove everything from our Nazi zombie character.h that we just moved over. And I also want to move the increment and decrement points to the player state as well. So let's copy those. Oh, duh, here they are. So increment and decrement points. Set this to be in a public section. And copy the increment and decrement points to the player state. Like so. And change a Nazi zombie character to a Nazi zombie player state. So there we are. Now let's remove it from the CPP. We're going to move get points over as well into the player state, along with its CPP, or the definition. Again, change the class. And that should be just about everything on this specifically. Okay, I think that's all right there. So now let's go to our zombie. So we have our zombie base, we have our hit function, and the hit simply goes down and calls increment points on the player that has been passed in. Well, we want to get the player state from that player. So what we're going to do is, because we no longer have increment points, so include the player state header into our zombie base.cpp. What we're going to do is if a Nazi zombie player state p state equals player get player state, and this is a template, so we're going to do a Nazi zombie player state. So if we have access to the player state, we're simply going to call increment points and add it by 100. Right. Now we need to do our barricade. So here we have our barricade.cpp, and once again, I'm going to include the player state at the top, and we need to find where we purchase it. So our use. Here it is. So we have access to our player. What we're going to do is get the player state. So if we have authority, it has not been used already, the player is valid. Now we need to get the player state and try to decrement the points. So what we're going to do is after we get the player, make sure that's valid, we're going to do if a Nazi zombie player state p state equals player get player state a Nazi zombie player state. We're going to do a check, so if p state decrement points, and the points that we're going to decrement is cost. So if that is false, we're going to return. Otherwise, we're going to continue going just like so. So pretty much, if you recall, decrement points returns a Boolean, and that is if we do not have enough points to purchase the barricade, then it will return false. And if it is, then it'll return true and allow us to continue on. So, let's go ahead and I'm just going to compile and see if there's anything that I missed. Okay, that's zombie character, line 20. All right, we're no longer replicating that, so we don't need it. I'm in the player state. Whoops. So we no longer have it replicated, and we no longer have it in our constructor for the Nazi zombie character. I think I removed it out of the header. Right, and we're going to go ahead and copy out or comment out the get lifetime replicated props, and we should, yep, be good to go. Now we need to change our bindings. So we currently bound the event for our Nazi zombie character to our character. in our widget, or for the widget. We need to do that in our player state. So, blueprint classes, player, Nazi zombie player character. Okay, I did not bind it here. Let's see. Points changed. Where did I bind it? Is it live points? Maybe? No. It's been like 2 weeks since I've looked at this. Here we are. So this compile will fail. And you can see here. So this is the event that should be failing. So on owner points changed, we need to pretty much change how we bind this up. So I'm going to copy this and move it out of the way and disconnect here and here. So we're gonna get the player character, we're gonna do get player state. We're gonna cast it to a Nazi zombie player state. If it's valid, we're gonna bind it. So forgot to create that event. So one moment. What is failing? Where is it? Get point. Set up initial widget. So we need to go from the player state here. Player character. Let's see. It is on set up initial widgets. Let's create a new variable for the player state. Let's call it the state. Be Nazi zombie player state object reference. Add all that. We do the get points and everything else. Okay, so we're going to get the player state. We're going to try to set it. So from the player character, we're going to do, well, actually, let's do a get to clean it up. Let's do get player state. Then we're going to cast it to Nazi zombie player state. In which case we simply set p state to equal the Nazi zombie player state. And from here, we do get points, delete get points, and we would pass in the setup like that. But on owner points changed is no longer existent, so we're going to go ahead and close down the editor and fix it. So in our Nazi zombie character.h, we have this event here. We're going to copy it and move it to our Nazi zombie player state and paste it in just like so. Then remove it from our Nazi zombie character and grab this event. So f points changed. We're going to copy that. Whoops. And move it to our header just like so. Now in our CPP, we uncomment new points dot broadcast and compile. Okay, it's now the character 24. I forgot to remove it. Forgot to remove it, and now we can compile. All right, Now we need to go ahead and rebind everything up. So in our hood, to the event graph. As the player state, let's do bind event to new points. Add a custom event. Do it on points changed, or like it was before, on owner points changed. Then we link all this back up. I think it was like that. Then we can compile and save and call on owner points changed. I don't know if it'll be bound fast enough, but it should be fine. And let's just see what happens. I'm gonna test with just the server for now. Okay, so it's failing, so we need to print out some things and see roughly where we're at. Oh, I forgot to actually set the player state. So in our blueprint classes, game, Nazi Zombie game mode, player state class, select Nazi Zombie player state. And now let's try it. And as you can see, our points are going back up. Now let's test with 2 clients. Server's fine, but the client is failing. So that's something we're gonna have to fix. I'm actually gonna go ahead and stop the video here just to prevent it from going on for a long time. And in the next video, we're going to be fixing the client. So hopefully that'll be a short one. So I will see you then.